I spent my entire life savings, $87,000, on my dream restaurant's grand opening and invited my whole family. Not a single person showed up. They all went to my brother Dylan's housewarming party instead, red Solo cups and gas station pizza, while I stood alone in a candlelit dining room I'd spent 3 years planning. As I locked up at midnight, wiping down tables that never saw a single plate, Mom finally texted, "We need to talk about your little restaurant situation." My name is Sophia Chen. I'm 29. And if you think this story ends with me crying, you're dead wrong. The dining room still smelled like the lavender candles I'd lit for ambience. 27 handwritten menu cards, each one took me 40 minutes, sat untouched at the hostess stand. The Spotify playlist titled Sophia's Big Night played to empty chairs for 4 straight hours. I checked my phone obsessively. 0 calls. 0 texts. Not even a running late message. Then I saw it. Dylan's Instagram story. New house vibes. There was my entire family. Mom holding a Costco sheet cake. Dad grilling frozen burgers on Dylan's new patio. My sister Emma taking selfies with the "Congrats Dylan" balloon arch. The same family who couldn't drive 15 minutes to support the biggest night of my life. I stared at my reflection in the empty restaurant window. 3 years of 16-hour days. Culinary school loans I'm still paying. Every weekend spent recipe testing instead of dating. All for this moment. And they chose a backyard barbecue over me. That's when Mom's text came in. "We need to talk about your little restaurant situation." Little restaurant situation. I typed back one sentence that would change everything. Effective immediately, all Chen family members are permanently banned from Sophia's kitchen. No exceptions. 23 minutes later, someone was pounding on my back door. Dylan stood there in his backwards baseball cap, holding a paper plate with a sad slice of grocery store cake. "Yo, Soph. Brought you cake since you missed the party." "Since I missed the party." "Dylan," I said, not moving from the doorway. "I didn't miss anything. You all missed mine." He actually rolled his eyes. "Come on, it wasn't that serious. Mom said it was just like a soft opening thing. We figured we'd hit you up next weekend." Next weekend. I stepped outside, pulling the door shut behind me. I hand-delivered invitations. I texted Mom 3 times. "I made your favorite dessert. Those chocolate lava cakes you've been begging me to make since I was 16. They sat in my kitchen for 5 hours." Dylan shifted, uncomfortable. "Look, people got busy dash." "No." My voice was ice cold. "People got priorities. And I wasn't one of them." I walked to the dumpster and threw away the trash bag I'd been carrying. Inside were all the decorations, the grand opening banner, the flowers I'd bought myself. "Sophia, seriously, it's not that deep." Dylan followed me. "Besides, Dad wants to help now. He's talking about maybe investing, you know?" He asked me to smooth things over. There it was. The real reason for his visit. Tell Dad his investment opportunity expired at 8 p.m. when he chose frozen burgers over his daughter's dreams. Dylan blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" I smiled. The kind of smile that makes people nervous. "It means you're 24 hours too late, and I don't serve leftovers." I walked back inside and turned every single deadbolt. The next morning, I did something I should have done years ago. I changed my locks. Not just at the restaurant, at my apartment too. For 3 years, my family had treated my space like their personal storage unit. "Sophia, can we crash at yours? Just need to store this couch for a few weeks." "Can I borrow your car? Mine's in the shop again." Every single time, I said yes. Because saying no felt selfish. Because somewhere in my broken heart, I thought being useful was the same as being loved. But love doesn't ditch your grand opening for gas station pizza. Love doesn't call your life's work a little situation. Love shows up. So I made it official. I printed a sign for the restaurant door. "Dear valued customers, Due to overwhelming community support, Sophia's Kitchen now operates on reservations only. Walk-ins not accepted, even if we share DNA. Management. By lunch, 3 food bloggers had posted photos. By dinner, it was trending on local Facebook groups. By midnight, the hashtag DNA policy had 847 posts. The photo that went viral showed me in my chef's coat, arms crossed, standing next to that sign. The caption someone added, "When your family thinks they can treat you like a backup plan." Comments flooded in. "This woman is my hero. Family doesn't mean free pass to be trash. Tell Dylan his sister said no cake for you." Meanwhile, my phone exploded. Mom called 6 times, left 1 voicemail. "Sophia, this is embarrassing. We're family. We made a mistake, but this public tantrum is making us all look bad." I didn't call back. Instead, I opened my doors to a couple from Portland who'd driven 4 hours after seeing my story online. "We cancelled our other reservation," the woman said. "We had to support you." As I seated them at table 7, I caught my reflection in the window again. I didn't look bitter. I didn't look broken. I looked free. 3 days later, Dad showed up. Not at the restaurant. He wouldn't risk more bad publicity. He came to my apartment at 7 a.m., probably hoping to catch me off guard. "Sophia, open up. We need to handle this like adults." I looked through the peephole. He stood there in his expensive suit, jaw clenched, looking like a man who'd lost control of his favorite puppet. I opened the door but didn't step aside. "You want to talk? Talk from right there." "This is ridiculous," he said. "We're not enemies here. No, you're just people who forgot I existed unless you needed free catering or a place to crash." His face twitched. "I was planning to help you. I've been looking into some financing options. You mean you wanted equity?" I cut him off. "Control." Dad's businessman mask slipped. "Don't be paranoid, Sophia." I pulled out the manila folder I'd prepared. "Here's the deed. The restaurant is 100% in my name. The LLC, the recipes, the trademark, all mine." He stared at the papers. "You got lawyers involved?" "I got a whole team involved. Funny what happens when you stop waiting for permission to succeed." Dad looked down, then back up. "We just wanted to see you make it." "No. You wanted to see me manageable. Small enough to control, big enough to benefit from." Before he left, he turned back. "This will bite you, Sophia. You're burning bridges with the people who love you." I nodded calmly. "Then I guess I'll learn to swim in deeper waters." The first attack came disguised as customer feedback. 1-star Yelp review. Then 3 more within an hour. All suspiciously similar. Food was cold and overpriced. Staff was incredibly rude. Owner seems unstable and argumentative. Problem was, none of those names were in my reservation system. And we'd never served cold food. Then came the second wave. Fake Google reviews. Complaints to the health department, all unfounded. Someone even called my suppliers claiming I hadn't paid my bills. This was coordinated. Professional. That's when I got a text from an unknown number. "They're planning something bigger. Be careful." A friend. I didn't panic. I planned. First, I called my lawyer. Then I reached out to Jessica Martinez, the food journalist who'd written the glowing review of my soft opening last month. "Someone's definitely targeting you," she said after reviewing the fake reviews. "Want to go on record?" "Absolutely." Jessica's article dropped at 6 a.m. Local chef battles family sabotage, the ugly truth behind Sophia's Kitchen controversy. The piece was devastating. Screenshots of the fake reviews, timestamps proving they were all posted within minutes of each other, quotes from my suppliers confirming the harassment calls. But the most damning evidence came from an unexpected source. Emma's best friend, Chloe, had heard them planning. She reached out to Jessica directly with screenshots of the family group chat called Sophia intervention. The messages were horrific. Mom, she needs to learn she can't cut us out. Dylan, I know a guy who can tank her Yelp rating. Dad, pull the family money angle. Make her desperate. Emma, this is kind of harsh. Shouldn't we just apologize? Mom, she chose publicity over family. Now she deals with consequences. The article went viral. Hashtag Sophia Strong started trending. The local news picked it up. Food Network's Instagram account shared it. By noon, my reservation book was full for 2 months. By evening, I had $12,000 in GoFundMe donations I never asked for. That night, a woman walked into the restaurant during closing and handed me an envelope. $500 tip, she said, for showing us what backbone looks like. I cried in the walk-in cooler. Not from sadness, from relief. The world had seen who they really were. And the world chose me. The final blow came from someone I never expected. Dylan's girlfriend, Mia. She appeared during closing time, no reservation, just guilt written across her face and screenshots on her phone. Can I please talk to you? She whispered. Just for a minute. Something in her eyes, shame, maybe fear, made me pause. She sat across from me in the corner booth, hands shaking around a coffee cup. I didn't know how far they were taking it, she said. Not until Dylan started bragging. I stayed quiet. They made a group chat. Your parents, Dylan, Emma, even your Aunt Lisa. They called it Operation Reset. The plan was to pressure you into selling or force you to fail so you'd have to come back to the family humbled. She slid her phone across the table. More screenshots. Detailed plans. Voice messages of Dad explaining how to break her spirit without leaving fingerprints. Dylan said they were just trying to teach you a lesson about loyalty. But after that article came out and everyone turned against them, they're falling apart. Your mom and dad are fighting constantly. Emma feels horrible. Dylan's talking about leaving town. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Tears filled her eyes. Because they made me help with some of the fake reviews. And because I can't be with someone who would destroy his sister's dreams just to feel powerful. She pushed the phone closer. If you want to go public with this, you have my permission. I already broke up with Dylan. I looked at the evidence. Names, dates, detailed plans to destroy me. Everything I needed to end this war. But as I stared at those messages, I realized something. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about freedom. And I was already free. I never released those screenshots. I didn't need to. Instead, I did something better. I succeeded. Loudly. 6 months later, Sophia's Kitchen was featured on Food Network's Hidden Gems. We were booked 3 months out. I'd hired 8 staff members, all from overlooked backgrounds, single parents, career changers, culinary students drowning in debt. A year later, I opened Sophia's Second, a casual breakfast spot downtown. The ribbon cutting drew hundreds of people. The mayor showed up. Local TV covered it live. As I stood in front of the cameras, the reporter asked, "What would you say to your family now if they were watching?" I smiled. I'd say thank you. Thank you for showing me that the people who matter don't need invitations to celebrate your success. They just show up. That evening, I got a text from Dylan. Saw the news. Proud of you, sis. Think we could talk sometime. I read it twice, then deleted it without responding. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding. Some tables don't deserve a seat. I'd built something better than revenge. I'd built a life they couldn't touch, success they couldn't diminish, and happiness they couldn't steal. The best part? Every single night, as I lock up my restaurants, I remember that scared girl standing in an empty dining room a year ago. The one who thought she needed their approval to matter. She was wrong. She never needed them at all. She just needed to believe in herself. And now she has 2 restaurants, a cookbook deal, and a waiting list of people who actually show up. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well. But succeeding beyond their wildest dreams? That's even better. Welcome to AD_Revenge. Subscribe for more stories of people who chose themselves when their families chose everyone else.